Hello, bookish friends. My name is Gail, and I am the Fiction Bookworm. So today is February 5th, I think, and we are at the beginning of February, moving our way forward, and I have yet to post my February TBR video, so here it is. I have had a rough couple of weeks, the past 2 weeks, with not feeling very well, not feeling like reading very much, so I haven't gotten too much reading done, but I have been working my way through some audiobooks, and audiobooks has been a much better thing for me the past 2 weeks than trying to read physical books, and so I'm going to continue on that trend and just as much as I can work on some audiobooks. So that's where I'm doing on my reading right now. I'm coming to you with a pretty small TBR this month because I really am struggling to read, and I don't know how well I'll do this month. But there's always audiobooks, so we'll see. So I thought I'd give you a little update of my current TBR and where I'm at, and I'm going to pull my Bookopoly cards for the month and see if that changes any of that. So I'll start off by saying I have, I'd say 2 to 3 advanced reader copies on my list to read this month, and I'm hoping that I will get through those. So we'll see how I do on that. For sure I'll probably be able to get through at least 2. I'm not sure I'll get all 3 of them done. I have a few books on my list. One from last month that I started but didn't finish. So Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is about a woman who has is differently abled because of some health issues that she has. She's working through a lot of health issues. And it's, I think, a romantic comedy. And so it's been a really cute book so far. I think I'm about a third through, and I'm really enjoying it. So I really want to try and, I put it down for a couple of weeks, and I want to try and pick it up and get back into it and finish it. And if nothing else, I might see if I can try and find it on audiobook and finish it that way. I think it might be even better on audio. So we'll see. It's set in England, in London, I think. And I just don't really get that feeling from reading it. So maybe an audiobook will actually be a lot better because the accents will really make the story come alive. The next book on my list is for what I'm hoping will be a book club this month. I have some friends who, one of them said, "Hey, can we do a little book club together?" And I said, okay, I have a book to suggest that I've seen mentioned a few places. It is called Just Mercy by Brian Stevenson, and this is actually a non-fiction book. And I've heard that it has now been made into a movie, which I haven't seen yet. I want to read the book. I've heard it's really good from friends, from the Books and Jams booktube. She read it in November, I think, for Nonfiction November, and really recommended it. So it was one of those things where, like, back in November, I felt like everyone was talking about it, and so I put it on my list, and I'm hoping that I will meet with my friends and we'll talk about this book sometime this month, probably later this month. So we'll see if that actually happens. I hope it will, but I really hope to read the book this month. Anyway, it's kind of perfect because it is Black History Month, and Just Mercy fits into, I like to try and spend February especially reading books that have an African-American author or a focus on issues of equality. So I think that will fit that requirement very well. And work really well overall if I could get my lady friends together to talk about it. The next book that I'm reading this month is called The Last Letter from Juliet, and this is a Once Upon a Book Club book. This was the January selection. I have started it and I haven't finished it yet. And so I'm hoping to get that done in the next week or so. My face-to-face book club that meets usually around the third week of the month is meeting, and we are also focusing on an African-American author. We are reading Octavia Butler's book, I always forget the name of it, Kindred. So we are reading Octavia Butler's book, Kindred, and I've heard it's a very hard book to read. I've heard it's very good. It's a time travel book, so I think it kind of falls a little more in sort of this crossover between science fiction and historical fiction, because it's about a woman who goes back in time. She is a sort of modern day African-American woman who goes back in time, and she ends up in a state with slavery before the Civil War. And so I think that it's going to be a very challenging book to read. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope it's not too dark. I am probably going to listen to it on audio. I bought the audiobook of it, so I think that will hopefully make it a little bit easier to get through. And those are my main 4 books that I have on my list to read this month. If I have time, and maybe even I'll try and do this next week, since next week is Valentine's Day. I've had on my list forever Alyssa Cole, who is a romance writer, and she has written a couple of series that are really interesting. So if I have time next week, I think if I could pick a romance by an African-American author like Alyssa Cole, I would really like to try and pick up one of her books. I think I have An Extraordinary Union that I got on ebook, and also one of her maybe a Princess in Theory as well. So we'll see. I'll try and start one of those too, I think, maybe sometime this weekend. So that is my TBR for the month. And now I'm going to draw some community chest and chance cards for my Bookopoly game and see what they say I need to do for this month. So this one is funny because I actually just said this, and it is read a book mentioned on a BookTube video or podcast. And so I just said that. One of the reasons I wanted to read Just Mercy with my friends was because I had heard it mentioned on the Books and Jams podcast. So if I can get that done this month, this will qualify. And now for a chance card. This says, read a book in a genre that you haven't yet read this year. So I have so far this year read romance and literary fiction. So that might mean that I need to try and add, well, I guess The Last Letter from Juliet will be historical fiction. And if that doesn't work, and Kindred might be classified as science fiction, so hopefully that will count. If not, I will try and pick up a mystery. So that's what I'm reading this month. I hope that you will let me know what you're reading this month, and let me know if you have any recommendations for books that I should read this month, especially if they are African-American authors. I would love to hear about some African-American authors that I don't already know about. And hopefully this weekend I will post my new releases in February video. I already have that recorded. I just need to get it edited and posted, and plan to have it up hopefully I think on Saturday. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope that you have a great week and you enjoy reading. Follow me on all the social medias, and give me a like if you like this video. Let me know what you're reading, and subscribe if you don't. I hope that you have a great day. Bye.